All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezer Show, weekly rock news outlet and concert review site. It turns out this week's going to be. We've got a couple of concert reviews going on to start out the show, and a little news here we got Coldplay. Journey, we knew they couldn't stay out. They just couldn't stay away. We got an update on them. Ronnie Radke update. Documentary coming out, which could be pretty interesting and hairy, I must say. Little Motley Crue, little Alex Van Halen. A little news out of the Slipknot camp. And going to be talking about all that stuff. I'm your host, Murph, and of course, my co-host over there in Wayne's World, that would be Doc Box. How you shaking there, Doc?
Yeah. Quite a warm day here in the Midwest. It's in the mid 90s now.
Yes.
Possibly rising. So yeah, a little toasty, but yeah, we're keeping cool. Some rock and roll news. Thank you all for stopping by and checking in. And as every week, we got the interesting and important and wacky stories in the world of rock. And before we get into that, we got a couple of concerts we attended that I'd like to tell you about. We fresh off of a show last night, but firstly, Friday night, Murph went to a show without me.
Yeah. Well, you had previous commitments we knew about.
So I got to work. Yeah,
my friend Chris and I went to check out Yes and Deep Purple, and very cool, very cool. I must say right off the bat, it's probably the least attended concert I've been to in all my years of going to Tinley Park. Sadly, it was about 5/8 of the pavilion was full. They shut down the lawn, which you and me have been through that. A couple, 3 times last year.
Yeah,
They just shut the lawn down, give you pavilion tickets, but me being a hanger in the backer, we get our pick of seats. So it was not really well attended, but a real rambunctious crowd. I say that the people that were there to see Yes and Deep Purple, and Yes started out, and of course they've only got one original member, Steve Howe, guitarist, who's probably about 140 by the looks of him now. He's really
a Crypt Creeper got going on there. Yeah,
wow.
Sure.
Yeah, but he did have Jeff Downs, legendary keyboardist, English keyboardist, playing with him. And regardless, they were great. Singer sounded just like Yes. It was just amazing. The whole group.
John
really.
Anderson is touring with his own version of Yes,
Yeah,
isn't he? I think.
John Anderson's Yes is what he's calling it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I have a feeling he's not hitting the high notes like he was back in the day, And this guy, young and full of piss and vinegar, he's still hitting it hard. And they kicked ass. Came out with Machine Messiah, which that's a real deep cut out of somewhere, probably drama or somewhere. Then right in, all good people. Yours is no disgrace. He actually did the clap. I can't believe it. If everybody knows what I'm talking about, their debut album, he does an acoustic bit, a live acoustic bit called The Clap, and he did it. It was amazing. Going for the one, Siberian Katu. And that was it. Then they came back for an encore, Roundabout and Starship Trooper. 8 songs. That's it. That's probably like the least number of songs we've seen. Yeah, it was a full hour set. So,
right.
Very
12-minute songs, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Holy schmokums. Yeah, but he's an old guy geezer, but his guitaring, some of his stuff's pretty intricate, especially the leads. And you can tell, he's getting on in the years, and like Carlos Santana, I could tell, there's a little bit of age happening, which you expect because he's 139 years old or whatever I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good show. Good Good
They
response
play
by the crew.
the hits of the '80s, "Owner of a Lonely Heart" and
See,
that
they
kind of
didn't do
stuff.
any of that. They didn't do any of the Trevor Rabin
Okay,
era, of course.
wow.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not really surprised. And the
Oh, they're
problem
the
is,
hits, and as far as
well,
most people,
the problem is there's so much early material that they didn't. They could have gone on for 4 or 5 hours for crying out loud. The way I look at it, being a fan of all the early stuff. Wow. So it was still cool, still very cool to see him, and very, like I say, a really appreciative audience, and a very, very cool concert. And then Deep Purple comes out. Now, the cool thing about Deep Purple, I didn't know this, is that they still got three original members. They got Ian Pace on the drums, on the trap kit, if you will, Ian Glover, uh,
Roger Glover.
Roger Glover on the bass guitar, and Ian Gillum singing. And
Well, Ian
yeah,
Gillan's not original, but
oh yeah,
heyday.
you're
Right,
right. But
right.
he the era of the
So
hits,
yeah,
the
yeah.
big hits, and beyond. So good call there, Doc. Way to check me, my man. Right on site. Wish politicians would do that. Check you right on site,
Right, there
dude.
you go.
But it's funny. I was
Everybody needs
telling
a Doc Vox hanging around.
yeah, I was telling Chris before the concert. I said, "Boy, I can't see him doing Highway Star, because if you remember how Star starts with that high vocal
Oh yeah.
scream, and sure enough, they started out with Highway Star. They just had the guitar hit some harmonics and stuff and whammy up. It was very cool. And somebody called you. Tell them to hang in
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but they
Sorry
came
about
out,
that.
and like I say, Gillum, you can't hit the high notes, but boy, when he's hitting his regular stride, you know damn well who it is. He's just got one of those unique voices in rock that you just can't you can't miss it. And they kicked ass. They did most of the good hits. I would like to have seen more. They had 16 songs altogether, and cool stuff. Into the Fire. How about that one? There's
They hit the Perfect Strangers album. Did they hit off of that?
well, let me see. Bleeding Obvious, Anya, Portable Door, Show Me, Lazy Sod, Uncommon Man. A lot of stuff where they dug deep. They could have gone. They could have done a lot of cool stuff. Geez, that they
Oh yeah, they've been
didn't.
around
But
forever. Yeah.
yeah, one of those things where some of the songs they picked probably for his vocals, to help him out on the vocals, because he can't scream anymore. But when he's singing his regular range, boy, he's still strong as heck. And I noticed too, yeah, he got like toothpicks for legs. It's like who is it, Gru from the Minions movie or whatever. The guy Gru, he's like got these little toothpick legs. I thought, wow, man, that is weird. But yeah, and just like a lot of the old guys though, we're just happy that they can even still get around a stage. I look at it like that, and he's still singing great. Glover was having a gas, absolute gas. Ian Pace still good. They all look so old, but they still rock so hard. But they ended the night with Smoke on the Water. Came back and did Hush and Black Knight. There you go, Hush and Black Knight. But yeah, it was good to see him. I think this is their final tour, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is like the one.
From what I've seen, Ian Gillan says he sees no signs, no reason to stop. So
No way. I thought the
maybe
headline of
that's
this
one of those.
tour.
Maybe that's one of those foreigner situations where the end tour will just go on forever. There'll be another leg next year, and they'll
And I did
hook
see.
on with sticks or something. Who knows?
Well, you know who played after Yes and Deep Purple? That was Friday night. Saturday night it was Foreigner. Last,
Yeah, sticks and foreigner. Yeah.
yeah. Then last night, then Winwood and Doobies. But yeah, Foreigner. Jeez, yeah. No, I'll pass on that. I'll pass on them though. Thanks. I had some friends who went, and I'm sure it was good. It was well attended. Uh, Boy, it's a shame that more people didn't see this one though. Boy, the smallest crowd that since I've been there. It just wow. Not, and I told Chris about it. It's like, when you get the really old
right?
rock bands, their crowds, they were getting old. A lot of
Well,
them
that
had
might not be the
died,
venue
and
for them. You might have to. They might have to step down a notch in the venue size department there for a tour. But
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. I guess. But so it was a good night nonetheless. Good weather finally. Instead of Creed, we're getting rained down. We had good weather. And then, sure enough, yeah, we last night we bugged out and did some rocking with Steve Winwood to start the night out. Ah, how cool was that? Of course, what we were second row parking last night. We don't like to walk. Friday night we were front row. Last night we were second row. Don't like to walk. And near, and here, speaking of guys who can tell you they're getting on age, he's not walking real good around the stage. He's shuffling, but nonetheless,
yeah, a little gingerly there on his
yeah. Steve Winwood came out and just wow. It was it was weird. Seeing a guy of that stature, of that history up there just doing so great, total command of everything. Small band, that's the thing. He didn't even have a
hmm
bass player. Didn't even have a bass player. He had there were two keyboards up there. He had a bongo guy or whatever
percussion. Yeah,
percussionist, and then a drummer, and then a guy who did the saxophone and the flute and stuff, and then his daughter on vocals, and she was hitting some little keyboard next to her. But a really uh, chopped
stripped
down band,
down.
stripped
Yeah,
down band, but they were really, really good. I mean, such professionals. But the the band, you brought this to my attention. Like the band was just, they're just making a paycheck, just oh crap, here we go, do this. They all seem so disaffected by anything around them. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, gosh, just it was bizarre. But yeah, he came out with Glad, which was a traffic song. Did a lot of traffic, heavy on the
yeah, a lot
traffic.
of traffic. Yeah,
And then find my Blind Faith, find my way, can't find my way home.
yeah,
Uh,
that was the highlight of the show to me, man. He got on the guitar and played the Clapton part. As you know, it's from Blind Faith
oh yeah,
and one album and a great song, great song, and they played it great. Yeah,
yeah, it
really
was.
happy to be able to hear that live from Steve Winwood. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, throughout the night he was, guitar, a mandolin, organ, piano, all over the place. Mandolin, grabbed the mandolin, did Back in the High Life again. That was excellent. I'm a Man, back from his days with the Spencer Davis group. But like I said, a lot of traffic stuff. Dear Mr. Fantasy, which
Oh
is
yeah, that was another
great.
highlight. Yeah, that was a great one.
Then Higher Love, one of his solos. Give
Yeah,
Me Some Lovin', another Spencer Davis song. That was the end of his night. 10 songs, but just really well put together set. And he's ginger, but his voice is killer. His voice still, it's amazing that he can still hit all the highs.
he's been around. Well, started with Spencer Davis as a teenager. He was like 16, and so
Yeah.
now he was well into his 70s and 60 years, I guess, in the business, and the voice is just right there, man, just right steady as
Well,
ever.
well, and he had the saxophonist, so I figured we'd be hearing Low Spark, High Heeled Boys. I was hoping anyway, but no, didn't happen. I was really hoping to hear that, but nonetheless, a solid set. And then, uh, his saxophonist was used to optimum effect, Doc. You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
Sometimes less is more.
And then up come the Doobie Brothers. Outstanding. Ah, man. The original two out front, Simmons and Johnston, both of them just still. The, their harmonies are just outstanding right
Yep,
out of the gate. I got to tell
yep,
you that their harmonies are
yep.
they're
Got to
still at
say,
the top of their game.
yep, top
Oh
notch.
man, oh man. So
Just
yeah,
just voice wise,
oh,
and not to get ahead, but as far as the vocals, Steve Winwood, Patrick Simmons, what vocals he did,
Yep.
Tom Johnson is dude. That guy, he looks fit, man. He's like really fit. Sounds great. Plays. I didn't realize he played so many leads. He plays
Yeah.
most of the leads on there,
How about
and
that?
yeah, just solid voice. But unfortunately, Michael
Yeah.
McDonald can't say as much, man. He was straining for sure. To the point. Oh gosh, what song was it? It keeps you running. That's his
Yeah.
vocal, and they brought Lily Winwood, Steve Winwood's daughter, doing backup. Brought
Brought
her
her in
out
to
to do the
sing it.
vocals of it because he's not going to hit those notes, so she had to come out and sing it. So
If
it's kind of like, yeah,
any vocalist out there, if you sang too hard one night and you're like nearing laryngitis, and when you have to sing, you can, but it's really hard, especially if you got to hit a harmonic or you go to falsetto. I mean, from your regular. I mean, his voice was just shot. If he didn't
yeah.
have laryngitis or something, I mean, he's just shot. And what a shame because it's not super high, but boy, yeah, he struggled all night long. Really
Well, and
struggled.
what a fool believes. That's got some high parts. That,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he didn't even get close. Yeah, so and
but
they didn't really
nonetheless,
feature him a whole lot. He was just kind of off to the side doing his
yeah,
keyboard thing, and they didn't really feature him a whole lot. But obviously,
yeah,
they had songs of his to do, and
yeah. But yeah, it was. But I must say the rest of them though, the harmonies were just so good.
oh yeah,
And of course, at the end of the night, they came back out for their encore, and who comes out to join them? Steve Winwood hops out on the keyboard, does a little taking it to the streets, and they end the night with, of course, listen to the music, the whole place singing. Of course, it's one of those songs. That's what the whole place is waiting for. Is that song basically? And you could tell because everybody was singing. It was a crazy good night. Uh, I had one major complaint with the doobies, my man. And I gotta say, there weren't a lot of doobies there, Doc. Did you notice that? The air
yeah.
was
I didn't
fresh and
smell.
clear.
There's a few drifting odors, but yeah, not too
Generally
much.
clean air, and we did see a really hippie couple. That was interesting. True hippies. That was very cool. But the one problem with the Dubes, they had a saxophone player that was like king shit on the stage, and he was totally inappropriate at most times. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of their stuff doesn't have saxophone, especially the early stuff. But he's prancing around like, yeah,
It does
yeah.
now. Yeah.
It does now, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, it was so disturbing. Oh,
Kind of remind me of when we saw Chicago with Pankow, the trombonist or whatever, and he was kind of trying to take center stage and
oh
take
yeah, yeah,
limelight. So this guy was
yeah.
kind of the same,
But
and wasn't I got an okay saxophone. He wasn't no Clarence Clemens, but he was
right,
okay. But
right. It was just annoying, and but he interacted in areas where he shouldn't have of the songs, and it's just wait, it's not, yeah,
I guess
ah,
my complaint, the Doobie Brothers set was very end heavy. You know, they got a lot of hits and they were like all at the end. So you sat through a lot of stuff. I mean, some of the other fans, there were some people behind this that kind of knew some of the more recent stuff, you know, and they say, oh, there's something off the new album. The guy knew it and stuff, but
oh yeah,
nobody else
yeah,
did. So, yeah, there was a good hour that because they started off with a hit, played a couple that I wasn't familiar with, another hit, and then it was like an hour of stuff we had never heard. And it's kind
will
of like, all
gone
right, come on, man,
crazy,
you got a
one
lot
step
of hits.
closer, eye of
And then
silver.
it all got at the end. Then you kind of got into all those hits, but yeah, maybe could have paced it a little bit better.
And I get
And quite honestly, I'd have been okay seeing Steve Winwood as the headliner. I
exactly,
mean,
yeah,
because he had a lot of stuff that he didn't get to, a lot of hits that he didn't play. He had kind of a stripped down kind of band, as you said.
yeah.
You know, if he had a more fuller sound, had a more
Ah,
bigger backing band, and doing all those hits, he'd even touch the Ark of the Diver album. He'd do any songs off of that. And he only did a couple off of Back in the High Life, and there's like kind of
ah.
you could have done that whole album pretty much.
Oh yeah,
So, and
yeah,
then of
yeah.
course a lot of the traffic stuff he didn't get to. So I
Exactly.
don't know. I mean, both were great. Both they're definitely not one of those artists that probably should give it up. I mean, they still got it. They're still bringing it, and I had a good time. It was
Yep,
all right.
yep. Leave
Yep.
the saxophone though. And the venues are the prices though are getting crazy. Yeah,
Oh my
we
gosh.
rented a
Yes.
couple of chairs. We rented a couple of chairs, $20 a pop to rent these freaking chairs. When last year we brought our own, and now they're making you rent them, and then of course you got to go get the 23 to twenty
Well,
six
not only
dollar
that, but last
drink.
year you could bring your own, but if you didn't and you had to rent it there, it was $10 last year. This year going into it, they announced it was going to be $15, and I don't know why it was $15 before when we went to a show earlier in the year, but for this show it was $20. I don't know why. Maybe the
Yeah,
guy behind the counter was skimming $5 a pop for himself. I don't know,
that's ridiculous. So
but
I,
yeah,
I and, and
$20 to rent a chair is a bit much. After you've already paid your ticket, yeah, that should
I'm
normally
just gonna grab.
that is your seat normally, but
Well, I'm
uh,
gonna grab my blankie. I'm gonna head up way up by the fence and just sit back there and hell with the chair. That people won't be standing in front of me and shit. That's one of my big pet peeves. You buy a chair, you sit in the lawn, then you get some people that stand right in front of you all gig long. So, you know,
you're a geezer.
I know that's the problem. My back hurts, man. My back hurts, man. Come on. Ah, cripes. But yeah, good concerts. What do we got? A couple of weeks till
The Outlaw Festival
Outlaw
featuring
Festival.
John Mellencamp, Bob Dylan, and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Average age 84 years old.
Yeah, John, get off
So
my lawn melon cap. I can't
yeah,
wait for
yeah.
that. That's gonna be fabulous. My gosh. Oh, now here. Okay, moving on. We got
All
to move on
right,
because
now we got some good stories for you.
well, we got some this Coldplay deal here. Is this true? Is this true? Coldplay's Music of the Spheres tour is reportedly the highest grossing rock tour ever. Now, wait a minute. Where's our sweetheart in this equation?
Well, it
Taylor.
doesn't.
I thought.
She's pop. Yeah, it doesn't touch Taylor Swift, but they're saying rock tour, so she's
Oh,
pop.
oh, that's how they get around it. Okay. All right. That figures. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Coldplay has been crowned the kings of rock tours, according to Up Rocks. Their Music of the Spheres tour hasn't wrapped up yet. It's already made history. Uh, since March 2022. Holy cow. It's over 2 years. It better make a shitload of money after
You
two
know, that's the
years.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. 945.7 mil. Wow. 8.8 million tickets sold. But yeah, that's a 2 year tour. I was thinking, oh, it's a summer tour, summer fall tour or something. Well, hell, if a 2 year, but still, that is righteous bucks. I will give them that. But
Yeah, it's
wow.
the highest grossing and most best selling. So most tickets sold as well. So
Wow.
to
Cold.
me, that's what you really got to go by. I mean, yeah, you can crank up the amount of the tickets and be highest grossing, but selling the amount of getting the asses in the seats, I guess. And then they have, and I got to say, I hate Coldplay. They're the one band that just everybody's got that band. I guess they're that band for me that just gets under my skin. The second they come on the radio, if I'm listening to radio, I can't wait to get it changed. Yeah, I just nails on a chalkboard to me, man.
Yeah.
Everything's the same. Everything's that same. Oh my god, it's just I don't, his
Uh,
voice. Everything about them annoys me. The writing's not good. His voice, I don't know. But apparently, hey,
somebody likes him.
yeah, 8.8 million ticket holders can't
Ah,
be wrong, I guess. But
well,
uh,
that's yeah. Can't always get what you
no
want.
accounting for taste.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, Coldplay, righteous bucks. And then, yeah, they don't deserve it. What the hell? What the hell, man? But
Well, this one says they've been keeping records for 40 years since the early 80s, which I gotta imagine. I don't think there'd be anything before that would be
anywhere near
any
that, no.
record breaking. Yeah, and
Crying out
he
loud.
beats. We reported on this a while back. Sir Elton John had his farewell that reached 939 million, so just shy of a billion. And he had beaten previously Ed Sheeran, who was at 776. So they just,
Oh,
shattered that one.
jeez.
And he had previously beaten U2. So now Coldplay is
Yeah,
they got
yeah,
21.
yeah.
They got 21 shows left, and
Wow.
they won't come close to Taylor, as far as overall. But as
Holy
far as
cow.
rock act, I guess they're the number one tour of
Who
all
who'd have
time.
thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? That's
I
ridiculous.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. Boy, what the heck? Here's an update I've been looking forward to because these two cats they got to get their act together. Jonathan Kane, Neil Sean. Finally, they're doing what they should have done years ago. They're bringing in a third party to keep an eye on their finances so numbnuts can't go, you know, putting $1 million on a freaking American Express card. Wow. So
And
yeah,
$10,000 hotel rooms, and yeah.
but it's funny. Yeah, recently John Kane made a number of claims. That's what Neil Sean says, and slanderous accusations about me and my wife. And I can't stress enough how much it upset me and how wrong they are. I am determined to take the high road and push all this aside for the moment to focus on our fans, the tour, and all who give so much to make it happen. Yeah, you mean the roadies that have just quit because they're sick of your crap? Is that what you mean?
Probably not just roadies. Arnell said he's ready to go at any time. So
So that and then he continues. That's why I'm so glad that John now agrees with me that the current dynamic can't continue. And it's also why I'm pleased that we're going to bring in someone impartial to help us resolve our disputes, bring clarity to what we're doing, and allow us as a band to get back to what we should all focus on making music and performing for our fans. See how that works out. Thank you for all for your support, and we'll see you out there soon. Well, yeah, you canceled one major tour abroad, so good job on that. Yeah, big fat dopes. Yeah, oh man, unbelievable. So there you go. They're gonna finally do what they should have done before numbnuts spent $1 million on a damn. Wow, I can't even imagine. Really, wow, on a credit card.
well, as we know, they've had other problems as well. So just kind of the final straw, I guess, but broke the camel's back. But I said when we talked about this was a couple shows ago that I think they're done. I'm gonna stick to that, man. I think they're having this attempt at reconciliation, but I think it's gonna fall short, man. There's just
Well, and he did. Sean
bad
did
problems
bring
in
up
that
that
relationship, man.
they basically disagree on everything.
Yeah.
He even admitted that they,
Oh
so
yeah, politically, they had that issue where Jonathan Cain's wife is involved in the Trump camp, right? She was
oh
his
boy.
spiritual advisor or something like that. Some
Well,
odd something like that.
I hope she brings her crystals with. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any of that crap. But yeah, so a lot of people got screwed off, man. They're going to do this 50th anniversary Freedom Tour, heading out to all these Glasgow and Nottingham, Belfast, Dublin, Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Birmingham, and Newcastle. But no.
Right?
So yeah, a lot of
Dude,
people
just
lost a
make
lot
it
of
through
money
this
there.
last tour. You guys have been doing this for years. Just you got your 50th anniversary tour. It's the big tour you're building up to. It's 50th anniversary, man.
Big
Just
time,
just
yeah.
make it through the tour and then fall apart, man. And then beat the hell out of each other. Whatever you're gonna do, man, get it out. But man, just make it through. But they can't do it. They can't do it. So,
It's amazing. It's
and I don't
just
think they're gonna
amazing.
do it. I don't think we're gonna see them back together. So I could be wrong, but I'm gonna stick to my prediction for now.
Well, it's gonna take quite a journey for them to get back together again. And that's all I got to
Oh,
say
but
about
they're gonna go
that.
to
Yeah.
separate ways,
Oh, hey, don't stop believing, Doc.
Don't stop believing.
But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, moving on. One of the guys who's seems to be in the news a lot. That's Ronnie Radke. Where is he? There he is. Hey, Ronnie. Looking good. Nice tats, man. I think he got them all blacked over or something. It's very
Yeah,
bizarre. But yeah, he's doing some suing. Doing some suing. He is suing music critic Anthony Fantano, whatever. But it says here the lawsuit filed on August 20th in L.A. County Superior Court centers on a video Fantano released in October 2023. I bet it's Fantano 2023, titled "This Guy Sucks." And Radke's attorney asserts that the video, quote, exceeds the bounds of permissible commentary and ventures into actionable innuendo, unfounded rumors, and outright falsehoods. Ronnie Radke is pursuing damages, and has requested a jury trial. And it appears that he's been accused of sexual assault sort of backdoors. I don't know. It's something something really weird. It's very vague, but
Yes.
the
That's
lawyer
what I
must
always
have.
ask about the. Like I said, he's as we know, he's very polarizing. People love him or hate him, and the ones that hate him is usually because of these type of rumors. And I never get anything concrete exactly what happened. Just he's just a creep. So I don't know. I tried to read the comments online, stuff like that, but
It's everything's vague, but it has
yeah,
to do
very vague.
obviously
Yeah,
with an accusation of sexual assault. And wow, but we'll see. He wants a jury trial, so they must have some goods or whatever. So we'll see. Good old Ronnie.
to
Just
me,
can't.
this has got to be groundbreaking, right? To be able to sue a journalist for writing about you. I mean, I'm sure there's everybody that's ever received a bad review has probably wanted to do this, but I guess, like you said, it has to exceed that, but that's got to be a hell of
That's what
a
they're
bar.
saying.
Yeah,
Well, when you start getting accused of sexual assault and stuff, then you talk about ruining someone's reputation, especially in the
yeah.
this digital age. I mean, something like that, boom, just destroy somebody. And he's Ronnie Radke. He's got to do these whacked out, crazy videos and whatnot that I enjoy so much. So we'll see what goes on. I'm sure he'll be on our radar again, probably soon, when this moves on. But the lawyer must think he has the goods, so we'll see if he's got a trustworthy lawyer or not. We will find out. Here's something I think you want to deal with this one more than I do, Doc, and that would be, oh boy, hair metal. Look at that. Look at that
There it is,
crazy.
the shirt. That's the
Is
shirt.
is that the shirt?
That's the
Are you
shirt.
sure? That's the shirt right there, is
That's
it?
the shirt.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, right off the bat, we got to start. We got to start with this. We go to all these concerts, and especially, well, we've been to many in the last few years, and there's this goofy shirt that goes around. It's usually old geezers like us that wear it, and it looks just like my backdrop there. All the bands on it, and it's a button-up shirt. It's not even a T-shirt. It's a button shirt with a collar. It's got all all these bands on it, and it's just it's just the most contrived thing. It's the old geezer. Usually it looks like a guy who's probably a manager in an office or something. And
Right.
if going to see a rock concert, oh, gotta put on this shirt and strut my
I put my
stuff.
concert going shirt on. Here we go. Let's go, honey. And then there'll be like three other guys at the concert with the exact same shirt on.
I
Oh
looked at
yeah.
it I looked really hard for the shirt today, and all I could do was find the white version of it, the white backdrop. But all the guys are wearing the
Yeah, it's pretty
black
much just like
backdrop.
that. Yeah, I mean, it's just got all the different logos, and yeah, usually there's like some Rolling Stone lips in there somewhere, stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, it's not
sure.
just all the hair metal bands, but yeah, that's very much
AC/DC,
the
all
shirt
that
though.
stuff. I swear, yeah, and it's so weird, and there was one there. Was it last night?
Oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah,
there
we've
was
seen
one.
one
We
every
did see one.
show.
Okay, yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
I saw one Friday night too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
pointed out to Chris, "There's
yeah.
the
Every show
shirt.
somebody's got one.
There it is." Gosh, yeah. Look at guys. Look at all the bands you got on my shirt. I'll be
Yeah,
back in the office on Monday. It's like,
I always want to go
okay.
up to him and go, "Gee, man, have you seen all those bands, dude?"
No, I only wear one band shirt because that was a legendary time for us, man. Fucking Iggy and the Stooges at the
Oh yeah,
hot,
Stooges show at
sweaty
the Riviera. Yeah,
at the Riviera Theater in Chicago. This was insane. And I've got to tell you, Doc, I mean it. This shirt is of the highest quality. It's amazing. This thing really, I could
yeah. We bought it from a bootlegger outside.
bootlegger, and this thing's like the best shirt ever. It's like two shirts thick almost. It's so good. So
Yeah,
yeah, way to
I
go,
still got
Iggy.
mine too. Yeah,
Even Iggy's bootleggers are the best. Man, oh man. So yeah, but yeah, hair metal. We're talking about this hair metal documentary that's coming up, and geez, it's called what? Nothing but a good time. Nothing but a good time. you sort of grew up sort of in that era, didn't you, Doc?
Yeah, that's kind of my coming of age there in the mid '80s. Yeah, so I was,
Uh,
the early hair metal I was not opposed to. To me, you know, it was a logical extension of Van Halen and Aerosmith, and then it just kind of bastardized into this, and of course bands like Motley Crue and
mm-hmm.
well, let's see, let's just look on the
Poison,
the thing here. Yeah, Rat and
Poison,
well,
Rat,
Poison came a little bit later, but yeah, the whole L.A.
Kicks.
Sunset Strip scene,
Right,
and
right.
once they started getting signed and coming out with the dreaded power ballads that every
Oh,
one of them had to do,
oh God,
and
yeah, yeah.
those started hitting the charts. Well, it was just it
That was
became
over.
a factory. It became a processing factory. It just okay, this is what you do, guys. You got to come out with one rocker to establish your cred. Okay, every album went like this. Every album. And then they do the video of that, and then the second one. Now we do the ballad, okay. And then we come back with another rocker. All right, ready, guys? Let's go. And that was pretty much the formula, man. It was just and
Ballads.
yeah, I remember at the time most of my people, that I hung around with were kind of into this stuff, and I kind of just by proxy, heard a lot of it, and I remember telling them at the time, and this stuff's not good, man. It's not good music, I mean, and at the time I was in like Springsteen and the Replacements and bands like that and stuff. So but yeah, that was
Ah,
kind of all over the place. You couldn't really avoid it. I mean, that was kind of the big scene at the time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, they're
Well,
gonna do this documentary going back, and they got they're interviewing all the folks, all the regulars, Brett Michaels and folks like that. So one of the typical kind of documentaries, but that might be interesting.
yeah, yeah. Well, I grew up in the musically in the mid to late '60s and '70s. That was my prime. And let's face it, the '70s. I'm sorry, '80s people. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, your '80s. Oh, your power. The '70s were unmatched, unmatched. And if they were matched, it would only be by the '60s. But the '70s were the best. Come on, that's where
Yeah,
everything took hold musically, especially with rock music, every different kind out there for crying out loud, and it was all great, you know. Your Zeps, come on, your Zeps, your Cream, your Who, everybody, and all the whole shebang in the '70s was just one big. It could have been the chemically induced joy back then too, but a lot of that music was really excellent, and I think the '80s. The hair metal, the hair bands just smothered out everything else in the '80s, basically. If you think about the '80s, it's all about the hair bands. '80s with hair, but I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff besides that. But I just had no time. I was so full of good music from the '70s that my cup was running over. My cup runneth all over, Doc. I had no more room for '80s music, and I hated the power ballads anyway, because because you knew there was some son of a bitch sitting there smoking a cigar behind his desk in some office, some big executive, and they'll come. Gotta have that power ballad there.
yep,
Power ballads are the new thing, so
yep.
every band's got to glam on and do their stupid ass
Puff
power
up your hair
ballad.
a little bit more and wear
Oh,
something
gosh
flashy, and
almighty.
yeah.
Get some more Aquanet, Aquanet
Well, I
in
just
that
remember
hair.
the quote from Poison bassist Bobby Dahl, where he said, taking shit for not, guys say, "Oh, you're not a great musician." He said, "Well, I didn't set out to be a great musician. I set out to be a rock star, and that's what I became." So yeah, it was a perfect mix of coming out at the time of MTV, where everything was substance over or style over substance,
Hmm.
and that fit right into that. It just fit right into that, and just they all just kind of fed off of each other, and MTV and hair metal were kind of meant for each other, really, and just it's kind of
Uh,
like I said, just fed off of each other into becoming so overbloated that something else had to happen, and then of course grunge come along and
sure,
made
took
them
care of
all look
that.
silly all at once. Yeah,
Oh,
so
absolutely.
you
Yeah,
know,
good for that. We'll see how that works out, though. Speaking of that era, uh, Motley Crue, there they are. Motley Crue putting out a three-song EP on October 4th, and they redid the Beastie Boys. You got to fight for your right to party. and that's just great.
Yeah, we've
I had to
needed
play
that
that
for some
song, and
time. Yeah.
I had to play that song in a band. It was all right, but it's just so juvenile. I don't know. It's just too easy. Da da da. Just you know, basic stuff. But they recorded with Bob Rock, legendary producer and bass player. It appears Bob Rock. Ha
All right.
ha. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. It's gonna be called Canceled. Yeah, and
Well, that's yeah. They got the 3-song EP coming out. They previously released the Dogs of War single,
right.
and
Yeah.
now they're doing the Fight for Your Right to Party, and then adding with that as a song "Canceled." So that's the new music they've been working on.
Wow.
That's what they've been talking about. All this great stuff coming out. The
Good call, Doc.
two songs and a cover.
And a cover.
That's
Wow.
yeah. That's all the great new music that they've been working on. So
And I got a feeling it ain't going to be groundbreaking. You're going to try and get a hook in there to catch everybody's ear, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, good call though. Yeah, all this time, what has been over a year? Oh
yeah,
yeah, got some new music coming out. Ooh. Yeah,
yeah.
2 songs. Whoop-de-doo. Gosh, Taylor Swift could write 2 songs in 2 days. Damn it, knock it off. I swear. Oh. Also, here we go. We're talking about uh, Alex Van Halen's audio books coming out, and apparently it's going to include a previously unreleased song from Alex and Eddie. So how about that, huh? Huh? Yeah, that's the news. Yeah, it's got according to VanHalen.com, the audiobook version of Brothers, the upcoming book from legendary Van Halen drummer Alex Van Halen, will contain a previously unreleased song composed by Alex and his brother, legendary Van Halen guitarist Eddie Van Halen, titled Unfinished. It is the last piece of music they wrote together and can be heard as Alex narrates his story. How about that, Doc? Pretty cool. What's a shame they only
That's a
got
key
one.
part there. I know it's why I'm sitting there thinking about it, and they say, "Oh, it's just in the audio book," and I'm like, "Well, it'll get out eventually in some other format." But then there at the end where it says it can be heard as Alex narrates, so he's speaking over it. So
Ain't
no,
gonna
you're
be
not
able to
going to be able to
separate it.
record it. Yeah,
No.
you're not going to be able to separate it. And I'm wondering if that's intentional. I'm sure it is.
Boy, is
He
that
just wants to be. He just wants that piece of music used for that to
yep.
express what he that passage in the book, and then that's what it's used for, and that's it. So
Boy, oh
that's kind
boy.
of cool.
Yeah, well, they were joined at the hip musically from the beginning to the end. So wow, yeah, it's a shame they doesn't have Hey, I got spools of music we did just messing around. That's actually good, and probably not going to see a lot of that.
I
I
mean,
know
Eddie's got to have a vault.
he's
I mean,
got
I
a
don't know how
bunch
much
of
of
it.
that Alex was
Alex probably
involved in, but
doesn't,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm sure Eddie's estate. Yeah, I've seen where he has walls of tapes.
yeah.
So
Well, that's all he was doing.
yeah, true that, true that. Boy, oh boy. So that'll be interesting to see. When that finally comes out, that'll be very cool. And boy, here's sad news. Oh, I gotta question this one too, Doc. Slipknot Sid, if you will. I'll call him Slipknot Sid. Slipknot Sid Wilson, hospitalized. And of course everybody knows he's married to who that? Who that?
I don't believe they're married. I think it was just
Are they married yet? Oh, okay.
partnered
She's
and
still
have a
his
child
girlfriend,
together. But yeah,
Kelly Osbourne. Yeah, yeah. He was in the hospital here, being treated for quote serious burns after he was caught in a bonfire explosion on his farm in Iowa. 47 years old. He shared on Instagram that he's okay and all this stuff as he's lying in a bed with wounds on his face and arms and stuff. And the first report I saw said that he it was a burn pile. And me being a farm boy, I did burn piles my whole life, and then burn piles don't explode unless you was to put some kind of accelerant in it and then throw a match on it. If you're close enough, it explode right in your face. So I bet that's the part of this that we're not hearing because depending on what he had on that burn pile, you know wood isn't going to explode like that. So
Right.
there's more to this story. You're talking to a farm boy here. Yeah, boy, I love burn piles. I got one back in the yard right now. I got to fire up one of these days, but and it ain't gonna explode on me. I can promise you that. But yeah, he put through something on it. Every now and then you hear a story about idiots throwing gas on a fire or something, thinking it's a joke, and end up in the hospital really in serious shape.
Right.
Usually teenagers and not a 47-year-old. I'll bet you that's what happened. I can't guarantee it, but
Right.
they don't explode like that. No, no. So
Well, you end
yeah,
up in the burn unit. I tell you one thing about those guys in the burn unit, they really stick together. Never mind, I'll show myself out.
oh, oh,
But
okay.
yeah, this is what you're talking about on the farm. This is on his Iowa farm. Like you say, everybody knows Slipknot's from Iowa, and he's still got a farm out there. And I guess he and
Yeah.
Kelly and little baby, whatever, little baby Sid, whatever they call him, I don't know, live out there on the
Yeah,
farm.
baby,
And
baby said, yeah, but yeah, no, he learned a lesson. I'm sure he learned a lesson about accelerants. But there you go. Way to go, Sid. Moving on here on our final story. Oh, this is sad. I hate to hear that. Ozzy Osbourne, he lost one of his best friends, and that would be his dog Rocky. There he is, right there too. Ah, what a drag. He wrote
yeah,
2 days ago I lost my good friend Rocky, who has been by my side at 15 years. Yeah. I'll see you on the other side, my friend. I love you always, Ozzy. Oh yeah, dogs are the coolest. Humans don't deserve dogs, quite honestly, but still we get them. But yeah, good for him. Good He look at that. Look at that smile on that puppy whoppers.
yeah,
Yeah.
little Pomeranian. Yeah, he's had for what 15 years. So yeah,
15
they've
years. That's something else, man.
yeah.
Yeah, they truly become part of the family. So, hang in there, Ozzy. Do yourself a favor. Go to the nearest pound and pick out a pound puppy. Make a pound puppy happy. That's what you need to do. Freaking A. Attaboy, Ozzy, do it. Took care of that one for 15 years. Get another pound puppy. That's what I do anyway. In any case, wow. Great show, great week for music, man. Oh man, there's a lot of classic rockers this weekend, and oh boy, our next one up is yeah, Mellencamp, Willie, and Bob Dylan, and that ought to be whack. Boy, yeah, there's some geezers there, man. Holy cow! Really, they better have the medical team. It's funny how many members of the medical team we see just hanging around at these concerts near in the crowd. Because there's so
Right.
many old people there.
Yeah, I'd
It's,
say the over under on the average age last night's probably about 60, probably about my age, man. So yeah, it's kind of an older crowd, and yeah, I'm sure the next one. Well, they said the
oh,
average age of those three guys is well over 80. So hopefully Willie can
oh,
make it, man. We'll
we'll be
see.
the youngsters in the house. So hey, take us home there,
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, another week. And as you all know, we'll do it again next week. If you have not, please subscribe so you can find us and follow us and keep up with all the shenanigans the rock world brings us every week because we bring it to you. And what next week will be no different. So hope to see you then. Till then, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody.